Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Tell It to Trevor. Today on my podcast, I have
Morgan Dash, the Green Flash of the Carolinas. What's up?
nothing much. What sparked your interest in the professional wrestling industry?
Um, well, just like everybody else in the business, I've been into it ever since I was a kid, and I did backyard wrestling as a kid with my nephews. So, what got me back into it, as far as starting being a wrestler myself, during COVID, I had seen a Will Ospreay match, and that was it
Okay.
for me after that. So,
Who were the wrestlers you idolized as a kid?
um. As a kid, I would say Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles.
How did you get your start in the wrestling world?
Um, well, about a week, actually a couple days after I'd seen that first Osprey match and some more cool Indies matches, I looked up around schools that are nearby where I live, and I found Firestar Pro Wrestling. And the next Monday, or no, that Sunday, I believe, we went to the open house and stuff, and I started that day.
What was your first wrestling match like?
Uh, whew, my first one. I was so nervous. It was ridiculous because I had like all my family there. I had my mom, dad, sister, both my nephews, my little sibling. So I was super nervous about that one.
Yeah.
But other than that, it went really smooth.
What are your goals in the future of the wrestling business? Like most people I hear is either going to WWE or go to AEW, TNA, New Japan.
Yeah, for me right now, um, what I want to do before I get any contract is do a lot of international stuff like UK, Canada, Mexico, Japan, of course, things like that. I'm gonna do a tryout in May. It's called the Chosen One Tryouts, and the winners get to go out to Japan for a little bit. So that's what I'm shooting to do right now. That's my biggest goal right now.
Can you describe your wrestling character or persona for someone that has not heard of you or if they're just watching around the world?
Well, I'm glad you asked that now because I have a newer character that I'm running with now, and I feel like it's more fitting of myself. But oh, the power just came back on. That's good. So it's Naruto inspired, and there's a character in Naruto called Minato, and he's the yellow flash of the leaf, and it complements how fast he is and things like that. So in my introduction, I said the green flash of the Carolinas. That's my own personal thing with it, and it
Yeah.
complements the in-ring work with my speed, agility, and athleticism and things like that. And that's like the basis of it right now. I'm still like figuring some little things out to give it some more pizzazz or whatever you want to say. Stuff like
Yeah. Can you share a memorable moment from your wrestling career so far?
that. Ooh, I would say probably winning the Southeastern Championship um, for Firestar. That was, I believe, last March. Yeah, last March is when that was. Because for me personally, that was like my first real title win. And
Yeah.
especially being in my home promotion too. So that was pretty good.
Can you describe the feeling of winning your first championship?
Um, a lot of excitement really. Because I didn't know that I was gonna win it till the day of. People had teased me about it. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're winning it," blah blah blah. And I was like, "Nah,
Yeah.
I don't see it happening." And then I get there, and Oliver Sawyer, that's who I was wrestling that night. He's like, "Yeah, you're over." I'm like, "What?" So I was pretty shocked about it.
Let's How do you handle the mental and emotional aspects of wrestling?
Ah, I guess pretty well. I personally see wrestling as a great outlet to personal, mental, and physical uh, things, especially. So,
All right, so we're gonna start this segment called Trev Shock. It's where you got 50 seconds to answer 6 questions.
oh Lord.
Uh, so basically, these questions are based on like personal, like one could be like your favorite food. Yeah. You ready to start?
Yep, let's do it.
All right. Favorite pre-show snack,
Popcorn.
pre-show song,
Mm. Kenny Omega's theme.
okay. Who is your favorite wrestler growing up?
Jeff Hardy.
Favorite sports team?
Favorite what?
Sports team?
Panthers.
Panthers. Favorite color?
Green.
Favorite type of music?
Metal.
Metal. So you beat it with 24 seconds remaining.
Woo. Yeah.
You beat it if you had like 11 more seconds remaining, you would have tied with the record.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Um, what are the biggest challenges of being a professional wrestler outside of the ring?
Oh man. So for me personally, it's well, I'll come back to the me personally part, but the main things is the expenses. Not only like for gear and things like that, but you got to think about your travels, your food, where you're gonna sleep, and all that kind of stuff, alongside of your training and your gear and other things like that. So that's one of the biggest things um, with challenges of wrestling. And for me, it's my size. So like, being growing, I guess you could say, it's harder for me. But I'm trying to like bulk up muscle wise, but also stay lean. So
Yeah.
that's another challenge out there too, staying in shape, especially with cardio.
Let's see. How do you feel about the business side of wrestling?
It can be iffy because there's some places that um, you might want to wrestle at, but they reject you, or they, kind of say, "Oh yeah, we'll shoot you some dates, blah blah blah," but then they never do. There's places like that, and then there's the places that you don't really want to go to, but they're offering exactly what you want, and you take that anyways. So it can be good and it can be bad at the same time. So it's a 50-50 thing.
And then how do you feel about promotions and shaping storylines?
Um, I love storylines and promotions. I feel like I feel like a lot of good places that I've been to don't have that, and a good story would like elevate that place. And at my nephew's show called BWA, that's a lot of things that he focuses on, his story. So I guess he just kind of rubbed off on me on that part. I'm just like super into good storylines.
If you could wrestle a legend wrestler, legendary wrestler from the past, who would you pick and why?
Mm. Okay. So what kind of era are we looking at here?
That's up to you.
Okay. Mm. I'll go with Jeff Hardy because that's like that's one of the dream matches I've always had on my bucket list, especially.
If you could attend a wrestling seminar session with any wrestler,
I would have to go with a seminar from Osprey or Kenta because those are two people I would love to just learn from and see what they had to say.
if you could have a wrestling legend as your mentor, who would you pick?
Ooh. Um, I would probably say Randy Orton.
What is your opinion on the wrestling crossover events with other sports or entertainment industries?
Um, I feel like for me personally, I don't want to see wrestling get mixed in with football or basketball. I think wrestling is its own unique thing. Like I get whenever they bring in like a football player just for like a guest appearance or something like that, but it depends on the situation when that's cool. Like what they've done with Pat McAfee, that's cool. But other than that, there's some stuff that I've found to be weird, like Rob Gronkowski being, or whatever it was he done that one time where he got in the ring and did something. I was like, that, I thought it was stupid in my opinion.
You talking about the Rob Gronkowski moment at WrestleMania?
I think so. I think that might be the one.
He speared somebody in for Mojo Rawley to win the Andre the Giant.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, why does he need to interfere with a battle royal?
Yeah. What advice would you give to an aspiring wrestler?
Oh, I would say make sure that um if you're gonna start that it's really what you want to do. Like, because I've seen people come in and then quit because it's not what they wanted or it's not what they thought. Um, I suggest researching a little bit about training schools before you go because it's not easy.
Yeah.
Wrestling is not easy. It's a very harsh toll on your body and your mind sometimes. Sometimes you get in your mind about things and you want to quit because your head's not in it. But um, it's good if you have some preconditioning too. Like I came into wrestling coming out of playing football for
Yeah.
3 years, so any like previous conditioning you got, that's great. But mainly focus on if you're truly ready and want to do wrestling, because like I said, it's a very hard thing to do and get into.
Can you talk about a significant rivalry you had and how it helped you grow as a wrestler?
A priority I had. Okay, this is something that I'm still like doing actually. I prioritize a show that would benefit me in exposure rather than one that is just going to pay me the best because I work for GCW for free and I got that opportunity to wrestle on GCW and same with DPW. So I try to look at, is this good exposure for me? Is this going to be beneficial to my career? Things like that.
Um, what was it like working with a particular wrestler that you really clicked with in the ring?
Ooh, I would say this has to go with people like Jackson Drake and Devon Evans because when I wrestle with them guys specifically, it's just like perfect chemistry. Um, I don't know. It's hard to explain what it feels like, but like it's fun. Nothing but fun. And you feel
Yeah.
good after Like with Jackson, I get my ass whooped all the time wrestling him, but it's like that good feeling afterwards. Like I enjoy it so much.
Can you describe your training process and what was the most challenging part?
I'll say the most challenging part was actually doing the graduation because there was times where I wasn't very consistent on going to training because of other things outside of wrestling were going on, and there was a lot of things that I missed or didn't get to learn. So it kind of felt like whenever you miss days in school and you have to go back and redo all the work. So I'd say the graduation test was the most challenging part.
Let's see. What hobbies bring you joy outside of the wrestling world?
Um, I would say video games and game development too. Like doing those kind of things and making gear for other wrestlers when I can. So,
What is your favorite gear that you have ever had made?
ooh, that's a hard one. I have two. So my first one is my blue, yeah, my blue set that I wore for Gate City Battle when I won the Southeastern Championship. Me and my mom were able to pull that one off in a 2 day span, and that was kick pads, knee pads, tights, a vest, a belt. So just the fact we were able to have something that good looking in 2 days, that'd be my number one favorite. And right now my second one, it's being made, but it's a green set for my new little gimmick that I'm running with now, and that one's gonna turn out pretty fire too.
And then where can I find you on social media?
So for Instagram, it's Morgan underscore dash underscore oh 05, or Twitter, X, whatever you call it. I refuse to call it X. It's Twitter. But Morgan underscore dash 2005 for Twitter, and YouTube is Morgan dash YT. Facebook is just Morgan dash.
And then thank you, Morgan, for being on the podcast today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
And then thanks to the sponsors of TBD Wrestling, Apple City Championship Wrestling, and Wrestling Evolution.
I love all three of them places. They all seem lit. Especially TBD. TBD's new, right?
Yes, that's owned by Bojack,
Yep, 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 yep.
which I'm really excited about that just to see how those titles are going to look when they debut those.
Right, right.
And then, guys, just remember I'll be saying this until WrestleCade weekend. We have T-shirts for this T-shirt contest. There's 5 designs. There's one for the wrestlers, and then there's ones for the fans. So all you guys gotta do is just go to the link tree on my profile, and they will be put there. And then you just put your Instagram, your name, and then what shirt size and what design.
Heck yeah.
All right. And then once again, thank you, Morgan, for being on the podcast.
Thank you.